Okay, welcome to the way. We're going to go over what I call the TRIATINE, the octopus-guard killer, and a couple different ways to get into it, different things that can happen along the way that might even help us have better opportunities to take the back mount, etc. So we're here in half guard. Let's say worst case scenario for me, or nearly worst case scenario for me, is he gets the far side underhook. Okay, he's starting to punch up, get some of my weight off of him. Now when he's punching up, he's giving me a little bit of space for like a reverse underhook here. Okay, and then I'm gonna switch my base. So I'm gonna punch through, now I'm gonna switch my base here. Okay, so now we'll spin around here so that you can see, spin, spin, spin. So you can see, I can mess with his arm here and I can encourage him to go towards octopus guard. Him just leaving his arm, he's exposed to a 2-on-1. I can do some janky wrist locks. There's a lot of things I can do. I can start to put more pressure. So I'm gonna start to mess with him and encourage him to bring it over, or I'll just force it here, right? I'll just bring it over. If he really doesn't want it to go over, I'm gonna start looking at wrist locks, and then maybe he's gonna let that happen, right? So what allowed me to discover this, I know I'm not the only one to discover this, was when people actually go towards squid guard and they sit up and they start going that way. I would jump my weight on them real quick, drop it down, loop through, and then we have kind of a guillotine here, but really it's an arm triangle, and it's my pressure down with my hip, driving this shoulder, right, slide back in the frame here, driving this shoulder into his neck. So, or more so that there's nowhere for him to move away. There's nowhere, this way a little, nowhere for him to move away from the choking pressure once I'm dropping all my weight, right? So a lot of chokes work that way. So now that's the common way that probably, there's probably tons of videos out there about that, but I don't need to let him work all the way up into octopus guard to start to make that happen. So I can kind of force this, and I can wear him out. I can wear out that arm. The only way he's going to be able to shut this down is when I go here. If he bails early and he gets this, well, I won't give it away, but he has to put his arm in just the right place. Okay. So barring that, me just being here now, I'm able to put a lot of pressure on him, and I start driving my elbow back to start crossing him up, right? So he can try to bridge, he can try to bridge, but then I can just mount, right? If he bridges too long or too big, I can spin all the way around to the back. So yeah, a guy can explode, but he's gonna give me maybe even better opportunities. Okay, so maybe I have to go to mount. Maybe I can ride it out, okay? If I just really go back far with this kickstand here, let's slide this way a little bit. If I just really go back far with this kickstand here, he bridges, maybe I can just ride that out, okay? Comes back down, he's just exploding, he's trying to do whatever he can do, but he's getting more and more and more tired, right? And then eventually, I'm gonna start to walk this knee, you can relax a little. Now I'm going to start to walk this left knee up by his head, or even better yet, I'm going to staple. So me moving up towards his head and me rolling him towards me is going to really help to set this choke. Okay? This is much easier if your arms are longer and you have good shoulder mobility. This might be hard for people who don't have those things. Okay? So I want to roll him towards me here. Okay, and then I've had guys freak out and bridge from here because they know it's coming, and then I'll mount sometimes too. But let's just say I'm able to settle him down enough to where now I'm going to lock up, and then I just scroll that hip down and I squeeze. Is that a tap? Yeah. Okay. So it's a ton of pressure because imagine you're sprawling on a choke. So I don't know how many chokes there are where you get to have sprawling pressure on the reinforcing side of the choke. but you also, that sprawl and dropping that hip also gives you just a gnarly angle to crank your pressure. So yeah, try it out. Let me know what you think. Sometimes guys can see this coming and they still can't stop it. I think if I'm on top of somebody equal size, equal skill, most of the times I can just force this if I'm able to get that reverse underhook. So happy training. Thanks for watching The Way.